lot of organizations use metrics as a way to help plan their strategy, measure their performance, measure their quality, measure how well they're doing to the customers. I think this is a big mistake a lot of them make. I mean, I'm not against metrics. I think you have to use multiple forms of metrics to just kind of show you things, to show you different statistics about how well your organization or company is doing. I think the biggest issue is when metrics are used to determine quality, or they're used to do performance appraisals, performance reviews, and they're used to kind of determine how well or the quality of work. And this is where things can go wrong. Several scenarios where companies use metrics and they make this like the central focus. I think too many managers and executives even, they get metrics obsessed. I think it can hurt their image. I think it can hurt quality, and I think it can hurt overall strategy if used the wrong way. There's a lot of detail, and there's a story behind every metric that's not told. Like every number, every line, every graph, there's a story. There's an untold story. There are things that happen that can't be quantified, and because of this, you can't use the metric you can't have it as a central focal point for achieving an objective. You can't use it as performance. The issue is, if you want to improve anything, you have to look at the process, not the metric. The metric may point you things out about the process, but focus on the process. Process improvement and quality are the main focus. I think a lot of organizations and departments, I think when it comes to looking at process, I don't know if people are lazy or because metrics is kind of like quick and dirty, because a lot of times metrics are used to determine finances, and then next thing you know, you're laying off people. And there's a lot of money to be lost in just focusing on metrics. If you use this like just to lay off people, that's a quick and dirty, lazy decision to me. If you look at the process in how you do things, whether you're making cars, whether you're offering like counseling service, or whether you're offering stuff for other things for retail or service, or even construction, I think that metrics is just really a bad idea for any type of improvement. It can be used as a tool, yes. It can be used as a tool to kind of show you like maybe where things occur the most, where things occur the least, whether they're important or not, whether they affect things. I've been in scenarios where someone deep dove into metrics, and it was actually during a performance appraisal, right? And this is a deep dive that a lot of people don't do. And I was told that, I had a quick turnaround for emergency scenarios with where I was working at the time. Now that means when it came to things that were high priority that had to be corrected, that I had the highest stats for that. That wasn't always that. I mean, that sounds good news on the surface, but you know what that meant for me? That just meant they're going to give me more stressful scenarios to handle. So I don't know how good that was for my health, to be honest. It's like, okay, we'll give them to him, right? But what I'm trying to say is that metrics don't always mean that it's something that's best for company strategy or direction, right? For example, you have some delivery companies, okay? They have to get deliveries out at a particular time, and you may know where I'm going with this. The driver, whoever delivering a package, because of a metric, because they have to meet a time delay, he just drops the package anywhere in that location. It could be stolen or picked up. Is that quality? But on the metrics, it looks like he delivered early or on time or really fast, and he made every delivery ahead of time or on schedule that day. Okay, he completed, he was successful in that regard for the metric. But is there quality with that? Because you just drop the package anywhere. Anybody can pick it up. Maybe the person can't see the package, but based on the metric, it was delivered. See, there's a story behind the metric that's untold. Right? Another scenario where maybe, say, a driver, he was really late with the package. Well, let's say he had to drive basically through a flooded ditch, right? Maybe a bridge collapsed. He had to find his way around it. Or maybe the location is such a remote place you can't really get there in a short time, right? Then his metric is going to look bad. But let's say he got it there and he stored it in a safe place, maybe in the mailbox or somewhere where it wouldn't be stolen, or maybe and they got their package on time and he let them know, he contacted them, maybe he met them, maybe he went out of his way to make sure they came outside to get their package. Okay, maybe time wise on the metric it might look bad, but to that customer is satisfied or more than satisfied. These are just some examples that that are behind the metrics that people don't see. So people get rewarded or disciplined based on a bad interpretation of numbers. Again, I'm not against metrics. I think they can be a useful tool, but they should not be used to determine quality solely to determine performance, quality. I'm getting tongue-tied. Quality or strategy, right? I don't even think they should be used majorly. They shouldn't, because again, there's so many untold stories behind the numbers, behind the graphs. I think the key to improving anything is improving process. When you improve process, you make up for human error. You make up for any other mistakes. You make up for things getting missed in the cracks. Anytime something goes wrong, you should investigate process, not always looking at the numbers. People get so numbers obsessed, and then they make huge mistake. I think there was a story also about Wells Fargo. It was a Harvard article, Harvard Business Review, where Wells Fargo, their incentives, well, based on some employees, they felt pressured to meet these sales goals, right? And because they were pressured to meet these sales goals, they lost a lot of customers because of pressure. I guess they're pressuring to meet sales quotas, right? So they meet these quotas, or they attempt to meet these quotas because of this pressure to aim for a particular metric, and the metric backfired. And they're still recovering from this. Again, this is why I hate when companies, managers, departments use metrics. And this keeps happening. Some learn the hard way because I think it's lazy management all around. Because looking at the process takes time, and people don't like that. Or people are always pressured. Maybe it's not people don't like it, but they may not have the authority to look at the process or take time, right, or to make that decision, because some people feel time is money. The time you're taking looking at the process, we could be doing this, and this. Well, maybe if you sacrifice that time and maybe money to improve the process, you'll save a lot of money in the long run and even make more. So in a way, they say you have to spend money to make money, and they say time is money. So you spend more time, you spend more money looking at your process, then you probably make more money, and you probably get better quality. Again, the key is process to me. Process over metrics. Because the process tells you where the holes are. It tells you where things fall through the cracks. You put in a safeguard, or you put in a task, or you put in an alarm, you put in a sign-off. Again, you add, these are parts of process. Once these checks and balances are put in, right? These are checks and balances. They make up for any human error. They provide a safety net. This can improve your quality, okay? Because that means it gets out a particular time, I mean, it's not even about time. It should be more about quality, because again, time is more attached to metrics, and a lot of times with metrics and time, you sacrifice quality. A lot of organizations sacrifice quality. I read something else about was it Toyota? Toyota did a good job. Actually, they don't. I can't remember the specific detail. I know that they haven't had layoffs in a while. I know that I read they don't solely use metrics. I need to find out. I need to relook up this again. But it was a good way that Toyota focused on process. Right. Their focus is mainly on process, and they're not as, I know that they're not as reputable as they used to be. It's still a decent car, but not like it's heydays. But the fact that there's a focus on process, it usually helps provide quality. And even when it comes to things like performance appraisals, again, there should be maybe objectives and goals unrelated to metrics. Unrelated. Just because metrics really, they provide bad incentives. They really provide bad incentives. If you just focus solely on them, just focus more on the quality. And say, okay, make sure this gets out right without these flaws due to checks and balances. If you're going to do those type of appraisals. Let me know what you think. Feel free to leave a comment on the metrics and maybe your experiences at work. And thank you so much for listening.